All right, this is BS with Joe. I'm Brad, which is the BS part of it because I kind of go off of whims. Joe does more of the studying on topics. But today, I actually know a little bit about this next topic we're going to talk about. The Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony. If you don't know who he is,
he played for like the Magic, didn't
he? Not that Karmelo Anthony. We're talking about the kid that stabbed a track competitor on a track meet in the heart.
Okay.
And so
he's going to jail.
Well, he was in jail. He's now released on bond.
Okay. Well,
so his bond was
pending trial.
Pending trial.
Yeah.
They're going to go to trial.
No.
So let me talk about what he's getting charged with and why. So in Texas, he's being charged with murder.
Okay.
Because I don't believe they have a manslaughter charge or a murder 2 charge. It's just the way the
Texas still has a death penalty too.
They do.
Yeah.
Now, they won't go after minors for the death penalty, though.
Oh, that's right. He's 17.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people are claiming it was self-defense.
Was it?
Well, we're going to get into that. But I want to talk about a little bit about his bond hearing.
Okay.
So his bond was originally set for $1 million.
Okay.
Just like Kyle Rittenhouse's bond was $1 million.
Yes.
Well, they reduced it down to $250,000.
So he can get out on $2,500.
Right. And he did. And his family is not well off. I believe they're middle class or upper middle class.
Okay.
And they have a GoFundMe and even a Give Send Go, which I'm not harping on Give Send Go. A lot of people have been because they're saying he's a murderer, blah, blah, blah. Well, Give Send Go doesn't want to discriminate on anything like that. It's just Give Send Go.
Okay.
Whereas with Kyle Rittenhouse and other individuals with GoFundMe, they didn't want to fund it. So, I believe it was Kyle Rittenhouse. But they reduced funding because of political or certain situations.
Okay. So the bond was reduced based on public pressure.
Well, not, yeah. More, yeah. Basically, it was public pressure because he self-defended himself. All right. So I read the police report.
Okay.
I also listened to a podcast of the lawyer.
See, this is when he actually did the research on it.
Yeah, I also listened to a attorney go over the police report.
Okay, talk to me.
So, on that event, there was a tent over a section of the bleachers.
Okay.
It was the team of the individual who got stabbed. Forgive me, I do not remember his name. I want to say Lincoln, but I may be confusing with Lincoln Riley.
It was Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Off topic.
Yeah. So it was this team.
Yes.
And it was fixing to rain. That's one of the reasons why they had that tent over the bleachers.
Okay.
So it could be out of the rain. Karmelo Anthony had an opposing team, from what I believe, and he came over to get underneath their tent because of the rain. Now,
Austin Metcalf.
That's
the name.
Austin Metcalf.
Yeah.
That's it. Austin Metcalf. So Austin Metcalf and his team was underneath this pop-up tent.
Okay.
It was raining, and so Karmelo Anthony goes underneath the tent.
This is one of those awnings, right?
Well, it's just like a big tent with 4 posts that takes a rain awning. Yeah. Karmelo Anthony goes underneath the tent, and Austin and his team says, "This isn't your area. This isn't your tent. This isn't your seat. This isn't your you need to go to your teams."
Not an uncommon thing.
It's not uncommon, but this also goes to the whole possible stand your ground. But I'm going to have my opinion. I'm going to discuss that with you guys after I give you some facts.
Okay.
And so he had his bag there, and Karmelo Anthony says something, I can't recall for word what was said on the police report, but he basically said something like, don't touch my stuff.
Okay.
And so Karmelo Anthony takes his bag, unzips it. And he said something like,
Why did he unzip it?
for the knife that was in the bag.
Oh, so he was intentionally going after the knife.
Yeah. And he also stated something
So
like...
he was escalating.
He was escalating. He also said something like, don't touch me or don't mess with me or else or something like that. I don't
Still
remember.
escalating.
It's still escalating.
That's not defense.
It's not defense. And Austin went to grab him,
Okay.
and Karmelo stabbed him with the knife.
This is not self-defense.
Right. And he escalated the situation by antagonizing Austin.
Yeah. I mean, did it what Metcalf do absolutely correct? No. But
No.
not worth being stabbed over.
Right. And the way that the two could have handled things could have been so different.
I agree.
And this is where they're kids.
Yeah.
Kids would do something like that. Kids would say something like
I don't know
that.
about the stabbing part.
Well, not the stabbing part. But adults, dissenting adults, would sit there and go, it's raining. Do you mind if I stand under your tent?
Right.
Would you share a portion of your area under your tent for me so I don't have to get wet?
Yeah. Austin just wanted to be a dick.
Austin could have been dick. And he could have been looked at as a dick by doing that.
He could have.
That's if Karmelo said something like that. But Karmelo probably sat there and was like acting all, hey, I look at you, I'm in your area kind of thing. I don't know exactly what happened.
Right.
But
Sounds like the police report was a little bit vague.
well, this is all hearsay. This is just what could have happened.
Okay, so we'll find out when it goes to trial.
We'll find out when it goes to trial.
Hopefully.
There's also, from what I understand, phone footage from cell phones
Okay.
of this.
So things were being escalated because people don't pull out their phone on regular, normal conversations.
Right. So things got escalated. So
Yeah.
we'll know what happened on the escalation part of it due to the footage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before the phone came out, it was already escalated.
Right.
So we don't really know what started the escalation. But
Right. And underneath
That's
that,
right.
I don't see where you really have stand your ground on it.
I don't either.
Because under that tent is not really your ground.
Right.
It could be argued that it's the team's ground.
Yeah. I mean, if it's anybody's ground, it would be Metcalf's ground.
Right.
No.
It'd be Austin's ground,
Yeah.
not Anthony's. And he pulled. Then he went once he put hand. Or actually, I think I remember it's like, go ahead, punch me, or put hands on me. I'll show you up, kind of thing.
Right.
That was the escalation. And Austin was like, "Okay, I'll put hands on you because I want you out from underneath our tent."
Kids being kids.
Right, and then he stabbed Austin.
See, that's not a kid being kid. That's a kid being stupid.
Right. That's what the police report stated.
Kid being stupid?
Pretty much. And so Karmelo went running. He dropped the knife.
Uh-huh.
He went on the other side of a fence so that way he's separated from everybody else when the police arrived.
Yeah.
And the police arrived, detained Karmelo Anthony. And
Metcalf died, right?
he died. He died on the scene.
Okay.
In his brother's arms. His twin brother's arms.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Karmelo stated, I stabbed him and I could claim self-defense or something like that. It was like I claimed self-defense like as if it was a question instead of a statement.
Okay. Questioning whether he could claim self-defense? Yeah,
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah. And in certain people's opinion, oh, he put his hands on me, so I'm going to claim self-defense. I had to defend myself at that point because he's going to beat my ass.
Okay, yes, but correct me if I'm wrong, but self-defense has to be with like kind.
Correct.
So if he, it's just like in the gun laws.
Mhm.
You know, if somebody is beating the shit out of you and you shoot them, that's not exactly a legal defense.
Well, it'll go probably
Unless-
to trial.
Right, unless you're dealing with a mortal situation. You know, if you're facing mortal injury, then yes, you can use deadly force.
Right. Well, if somebody
But-
punches you, that could be claimed as a way of using self-defense as in
Yes,
pulling a
but
firearm.
pulling a knife is not.
Well,
it's-
when somebody
It's
grabs
just
you,
it's just like when a car is driving down the road and runs into protesters. Okay,
Mhm.
if the car plows through the protesters, he's wrong.
right?
But when the protesters start attacking the car, now he has every right to try and flee.
Correct. That's Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony's issue.
Yeah,
Is
this
he-
is a bunch of gray area here.
very gray area. That's why it has to go to trial.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. There's going to be a
I still
trial.
think he's screwed, but
Well, we'll find out more of
Yeah.
the evidence and also the eyewitness testimony on the court case. I'm going to be
Right.
trying to follow it whenever it does go to court. I'm going to either watch it or listen to the court
Okay.
proceedings. But because I love these kind of cases.
right.
I followed Kyle Rittenhouse case in depth.
We talked about that one.
Right. And the attorney for Karmelo Anthony is probably going to be getting a subpoena from Kyle Rittenhouse's attorney because his Karmelo Anthony attorney said that Kyle Rittenhouse shot at 3 black men.
So he's gonna get sued.
So he's going to get sued for defamation.
Mm.
Kyle Rittenhouse never shot at any. Well, one black man.
Okay.
And it was the jump kick man,
Yeah.
who's been unidentified.
Right.
All the other individuals that Kyle Rittenhouse shot at, and actually just shot, not shot at, shot, were white.
Right.
So, where's the other 2 black men?
Well, that's not a sensational story.
Right, it's not. But it's just one of those kind of things. So, this is where this individual is
But
spending a lot of information, and they're trying to turn it into probably a racial motivated issue. Because
understand.
Kyle Rittenhouse is white, shooting at black men. This is a black man defending himself against a white man.
Yeah.
I don't see race in it. I see cause and effect.
Yeah.
What happened? What led up to this?
Right.
What could have happened? What happened? I never see race in this.
Honestly, in this day and age, and I really hate to say it, but in this day and age, I would be more believing of the black person being racist against the white man.
Correct. If you go to the GoFundMe page, or even the Give Send Go, and read some of the comments on the donations,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of disturbing. I'm going to leave it at that. So do your own research, do your own things. Leave a like, share, comment.
That was a little bit of a sombering conversation.
It was. Before we go, was there anything else you wanted to comment on that?
No,
No?
I'm good.
I know I didn't give you much to talk on that.
No, that's okay. I haven't really been following it.
Okay, well, before we end it, let me ask you this. How do you feel about the information that I presented to you on that? You feel like he was unjust?
I don't believe that it was self-defense.
It wasn't justified.
No.
No, because he could have went out into the rain.
Yeah.
He could have.
There was definitely, I'm guaranteed that there were opportunities to de-escalate,
Right.
and he didn't want to de-escalate.
Well, the fact that
Neither
he
one.
said, "Put your hands on me,"
Yeah.
or "Go ahead and put your hands on
He
me,"
started threatening.
when he grabbed the knife.
Yeah, they were
So he had the knife in his possession before he stated that.
right. They were threatening each other, and both of them were probably escalating each other. So,
Antagonizing each other.
yeah, antagonizing,
Right.
which is a form of escalation.
Right. And that's not a self-defense claim.
No.
No, it's not even a stand your ground.
That's fighting.
That's fighting.
Yeah. There's no self-defense there. He was
Right.
fighting.
He was fighting. All right. So we came to that conclusion. Like, share, leave a comment.
We're not a court. We're just two guys talking.
Yeah. I'm not an attorney. Don't take this as any lawful advice. But I am I like the law and I like learning about law because we're talking a lot about politics. So law comes into politics quite a bit.
Unfortunately.
Yep. All right. So we're going to leave it at that.
Okay.